house was full of blood, fingerprints, and DNA, but the man who left them behind simply vanished. Welcome to the Setagaya family murder. Click like and subscribe for more true crime contents. Don't forget to put your theory in the comment because it might be closer to the truth than you think. The Miyazawa family lived in a quiet Tokyo suburb, Setagaya, a place where nothing was supposed to happen. Mikio Miyazawa was a devoted father and a hardworking man, employed by a publishing company. His wife, Yasuko, taught culture classes from their home. Their daughter, Niina, was only 8 years old, bright, gentle, and curious, and their son Rei, 6, was a boy with special needs, born with a speech disorder, requiring extra care and patience. They were not rich, they were not famous. They were just a family, trying to live a peaceful life. Their home sat near the edge of a park that was slowly being developed. The neighborhood was thinning out. Other houses around them had already been torn down. The Miyazawas were some of the last remaining residents. Their home, now bordering a vacant space, felt slightly more isolated with each passing week. And in late December of the year 2000, Tokyo was already in a festive spirit. New Year's was approaching, the most important holiday of the Japanese calendar. Families gathered, cities sparkled, and somewhere, in that cold silence of late December, someone was watching. On the final day of the year, December 31st, the Miyazawas went about their day. Mikio had taken the children shopping earlier that week. Yasuko made phone calls. Home videos show a house filled with life, ordinary, loving, unremarkable, and soon to be unrecognizable. The last known interaction came at around 10:30 p.m. A digital message was received on their home computer, and then nothing. The house, which should have been filled with celebration, went quiet. The next day, on January 1st, 2001, Yasuko's mother came to visit the family, a New Year tradition. But no one answered the door. She knocked, then knocked harder. Unease set in. She entered the house with her own key and stepped into silence. The warmth of the family home was gone, and in its place, something else. The police were called shortly after. Inside, officers discovered one of the most unsettling crime scenes in modern Japanese history. All 4 members of the Miyazawa family were dead. Mikio had suffered blunt force trauma and stab wounds. He had clearly fought back. Yasuko and Niina were found upstairs, brutally stabbed. Rei had been strangled in his sleep, likely the first to die. The scene suggested rage, and then something even stranger, calm. Because the killer had not fled, he had stayed for hours, maybe longer. He used the family's bathroom and didn't flush. He helped himself to ice cream from their refrigerator. He logged onto their home computer, visiting a local theater company's website and possibly checking email. He took a nap on the living room sofa. He used towels and bandages from their medicine cabinet to treat a wound, then folded them neatly into a bag, along with his own bloody clothing. He changed into some of Mikio's clothes, leaving his own behind. In the trash, investigators found traces of sand, not from the nearby park but traced back to a U.S. military base in Japan. Even stranger, he left his fingerprints, on doorknobs, on the computer, on everything. And he left his DNA in his blood, in his feces, on a scarf. He didn't cover his tracks, he embedded himself into the scene like a shadow that wanted to be seen. Police were stunned. There were no signs of forced entry, no security cameras nearby. The house had a small bathroom window that opened onto the now empty parkland. It's believed he may have entered and exited through that. But the most disturbing part wasn't how he got in, it was how long he stayed. The murder weapon was a sashimi knife, a yanagiba, purchased just days before at a store nearby. It was broken during the killing, suggesting force or panic. But nothing was stolen, no valuables taken, no messages left. Just death and silence. Investigators pieced together the order of the attack. They believe Rei was the first to be murdered, quietly, quickly. Then Mikio, who likely heard a sound and came down the stairs. A violent struggle followed. Blood was splattered on the walls. Then the killer moved upstairs, murdering Yasuko and Niina as they tried to hide or escape. It was methodical, personal, cold. The investigation was one of the largest in Japanese history. Over 12,000 officers were involved. More than 100 suspects were interviewed. They tested every fingerprint in Japan's national database. No match. The DNA was analyzed. It revealed something odd. The killer had mixed ancestry. part East Asian, possibly Korean or Chinese, and part Southern European or Middle Eastern. That finding made it harder. No match in Japan's system, no match internationally. His clothing, too, was unusual. American skatewear brands not common in Japan. The sand in his bag traced to a specific base used by U.S. military forces. Was he a foreigner, a military contractor, a vagrant, or someone hiding in plain sight? Theories emerged and quickly unraveled. A random thrill kill? Too elaborate. A robbery gone wrong? Nothing was taken. A targeted murder? But the Miyazawas had no known enemies, no debts, no criminal ties. Mikio had disagreed with developers over the park expansion, but that was a civil matter, not a motive for murder. Some believed the killer was mentally unstable, that his behavior after the murders reflected delusion or dissociation. Others thought it was a message, a performance, like the killer wanted to be studied but never caught. And the most disturbing theory, that he wasn't alone. In the days after the crime, reports surfaced of a suspicious man seen near the house. Neighbors had heard strange noises, thumps, glass breaking before midnight. But no one called the police. It was New Year's Eve after all. The city was alive. And the Miyazawas were dying, unnoticed, in the middle of it. For years, the home was preserved as evidence, untouched, frozen in time. Eventually, it was demolished. The land remains vacant. A single memorial stone stands where the family once lived. Police still hold the DNA, the fingerprints, the belongings, but nothing has ever matched. No new leads have emerged. He killed, he lingered, and then he disappeared into the folds of Tokyo, a city of 14 million. Somewhere, the man who did this is still alive, maybe walking free, maybe hiding in plain sight. He may have sat next to someone on a train, past someone on the street, forgotten by most, but never truly gone. And the house, for so many years, sat like a scar in the neighborhood. No one wanted to live there. No one wanted to be reminded. Because it wasn't just the brutality that chilled people. It was the silence that followed, the sense that something had passed through, something unknowable, and left without explanation. They call him the Setagaya Phantom. A man who walked into a home, erased a family, and left every answer on the table except why. And still, the DNA waits. The house is gone. The silence remains.